Hello and welcome everybody. How are you all doing? I'm back from a trip and now we're playing some Mono Blue Tempo. The World Championship is upon us as well, so hopefully we'll get some sweet standard deck lists from there. But before that, I want to try some of the new cards in Mono Blue. So we're playing the Sleep-Cursed Faerie, which is, I think, just a better Delver Secrets. Delver Secrets just died to Cut Down, which is a huge card in the format, of course. And the Faerie goes around that and also makes any spot removal kind of embarrassing. I mean, you invest 1 mana, your opponent has to go for the throat +2 from the ward, so 4 mana to kill this thing. Sure, yes, it can attack, it can't do anything for a while, but hey, you're Mono Blue Tempo, so you have mana up, so sometimes you can activate for 2 mana, get this process a little faster with the stun counter removal, wake it up quicker. Yeah, so I think this card is kind of cool in this deck. I've already played some matches and it was convincing. And what it allows us to play Spell Stutter instead of Make Disappear. Make Disappear basically, you know, the casualty side of Make Disappear didn't really come up in this deck, where you don't want to do it. And Spell Stutter with multiple fairies, I mean, even better, right? Like, it is all of a sudden already a Make Disappear with casualty, right? Yeah, it just having the upside of going fairy into a mana leak, that's already a nice little buff there. So I think Spell Stutter is just inherently better than Make Disappear in a deck where you have fairies and not much casualty sacrifice, of course. So yeah, anything else? We have the new 2 mana removal in blue that is actually pretty awesome. Horned Loch-Whale. I think Fading Hope is still the better one, but I'm not actually sure, because this card is very, like, it puts it away. So Fading Hope just bounces it, so they still have a card in hand. Then again, this literally trades 1 for 1 and leaves you with a whale down the line. Yeah, I think it's exactly the type of effect that Mono Blue that doesn't have great removal is craving for. And yeah, the rest of the deck is pretty standard. We have the Flow of Knowledge, of course, of Haughty Djinn. The card is completely bananas in this deck with all islands. I had to cut some terrors to make room for all the new stuff. March of Swirling Mist, I think, is an amazing card. Kind of want to have a 3rd copy, but couldn't find space so far. And a Moment of Truth is a little neat upgrade over Impulse, because, you know, it will more or less, like, very often it will put 2 instants into the graveyard itself and the card you put into the graveyard, like one of the other spells you find. So it just buffs your Haughty Djinn so much faster and gets your terror out sooner. That's basically it. Sideboard, we're looking at, you know, more counter spells. Invoke the Winds to steal Shielded mainly, but hey, can, you know, steal anything really. It's good, like, it's black mid-range stuff, or I don't know, I haven't tried it against Atraxa things. Maybe not for that matchup, because Italy, Atraxa, if they resolve, you have the trouble from them resolving already, so you don't really want to steal them, you just want to counter them. But yeah, just a good card. Spell Pierce, Disdainful Stroke, Ledger Shredder for the aggressive matchups, and here the 3 copies of Horned Loch-Whale. I think this card is just very important against mono white soldiers, any aggressive deck. Mono red especially. I had a match against mono red. Mono red has this incredible sideboard card against mono blue now. The 1 mana, deal 5, can't be countered, goes around ward. It's ridiculous. But the whale, if you can buy yourself enough time, has 6 toughness. So they actually have the 2 for 1 themselves, which, yeah, maybe you can grind them out a little bit. If you want to play, you have some Essence Scatters, counter the early plays, and so on. Yeah, that is Mono Blue Tempo. It got some nice upgrades. Let's try it out. Okay, we're on the draw. I mean, I have Essence Scatter and First. Obviously hoping to not run into an aggressive deck here. Okay, Restless Cottage. So might just be a green-black, which we'll see. We'll see how that goes. If it's Liliana heavy, Graveyard Trespasser heavy, that's already duress in the main deck. That's not good, I guess, for me. Ba ba ba. Took the March, interesting. Not the Essence Scatter. Okay. Got the little show faces bug again. Opponent just not doing nothing. I mean, it can really only favor us, I would say. I'm not gonna play Haughty Djinn here into a removal. Probably just cut downs, go for the throats, stuff like that, I would think. Oh, wow. That's actually a pretty huge tempo swing here, because they're gonna now have one less land drop, tapped out completely. Yeah. Okay. Kind of want to hit a land drop, honestly. Maybe I just discard another Fading Hope and a Veil. Problem is that my Haughty Djinn will likely die. I assume they took the march to just have a clean go for the throat kill on the Haughty Djinn. And my Spell Stutter doesn't protect the Haughty Djinn. I think I'm just going to discard the island and go for the grindy game plan. And will I deploy the Djinn here? Does it make sense? I mean, it likely will just get killed by a go for the throat. I can't do anything about it, so I think I'm just gonna pass, not play the Djinn. It's also the issue that when they kill Djinn in the main deck, they have Throne in the main deck against the mono blue deck. Are you kidding me? You gotta be joking, man. What is this? First round I get paired into Duress Throne. Are you joking? This is some sort of sick joke. Great. I kind of have to find, I don't know, I mean, I guess I have Fading Hope to bounce my Djinn. This is, I don't know, this is one of the best cards in the format against my deck. I just can't believe I'm playing the first, like that's so unlikely. Kind of ridiculous. Is this card good in the format? A 5/5 indestructible trample. Can't be the target of things. Underdog. Huh. I think they have go for the throat. So I think I'm just gonna take this Spell Pierce. Another Djinn. Nothing? Wow. Maybe the deck needs more negate effects. Like, I've ran into this a couple of times already now. That, you know, like, you will have Spell Pierce or Spell Stutter in hand when you just, and then they have like 5 mana because it's already like that stage of the game where you play Djinn and then have that spell, and then they just play go for the throat as their first card, and you're just like, okay, I guess my Djinn dies. Opponent just gives up, realizing that this is not enough at all. Okay, cool. Well, I guess, I mean, what do you do against the front? You play Djinns and kill them. Wild though, the front, I mean, yeah, I'm just stone cold. I gotta be aggressive against that card. That's it, really. I would play Invoke the Winds here. Maybe Spell Pierce can go, maybe some Fading Hopes. Essence Getter seems kind of nice. I guess a Veil is not bad. Maybe trim a Terror for another Whale. Just have some more removal for, you know, Elissa, all those things. The land will certainly be activated over the course of a game. It's kind of nice to bounce that back. Okay. But yeah, I think I am the controlling player in this matchup. Because, you know, I have the flow, like, and that's, you know, often the case with mono blue, that you are going to be the controlling one. But of course, depending on the situation, you might just want to go aggressive, and Haughty Djinn does finish games very quickly. Thinking about playing the Djinn, I don't think so. I think you should never just, like, you should rarely run out the Djinn. Like, if I didn't have a first, I would run out the Djinn. But considering I have first here, which I'm gonna cast, one of those. That's unfortunate. Could play Quick Study. It's a bit safer. But first, for Discovery, I don't know. It's probably it's more powerful for sure. They took the Spell Stutter. I think I'll play this and Terra. That does not allow them to go for the Throat here. If I play Djinn, they can go for the Throat. They missed the land drop as well. Frillback. Exile target player's graveyard. Alright. Bone's playing some unusual cards. Well, glad I got the Terror down before that happened. I think I'll just play the Djinn. I'll walk into a sweeper, but I mean, black, green doesn't have sweepers. Okay, another weird one. Another exiling of the graveyard. I mean, this card doesn't really matter, honestly. If they try to double block me, I could just Fading Hope one of them. I don't know. I guess I'll do it. Use my mana efficiently, so I can flow next turn. Islands. March. Guess just 2 lands away. I can with flow. Sometimes you will want to lethal your opponent by discarding spells and then casting more spells, and then you can, like, all of a sudden deal 6 more damage with the Djinn out of nowhere with a good flow. Yeah, I mean, they're just daubs here. I can win many different ways. Put one of them into your hand, one into your graveyard, one into library. Yeah, we can just march their board position and swing in. Smooth Sailing. I mean, I played a little bit of a weird black-green version. You can go into the description in my untapped. There's my latest black-green version, which I've been pretty happy with. If you're interested what I like. Play first. Sure. Yeah, Fading Hope is probably still better than Loch-Whale because it doesn't require them to attack. You just always use it. Not a black-green deck. Maybe it's Domain. First Soul Discovery can also be used for extra damage. Okay, it's just domain. Where, yeah, you just extra... If you have 1 Djinn out, it's 2 mana, put 2 spells in the grave and itself, so it's 3 more damage. Bramble. Maybe the weird combo deck? Am I playing Djinn here with Negate backup? Is that a good idea? Probably is. Huh. Yep. That ain't happening. Okay. If I play another Djinn, I can first for 1. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Maybe we find a counter spell. If we do not, I'm just gonna Fading Hope this Bramble, and then that should probably be good enough. I mean, I need an untapped land and an invasion, and you know, domain decks usually do not have many untapped lands. Maybe they do. They do. Alright. Oh, wait, what are we playing? Branch Golem. Okay. So you hit Virtue of Persistence. Okay. Well, they could have killed me. Pretty much, but I was lucky enough that I dodged that. And now I'm gonna kill them. I mean, I could have played that turn drawing twice with first and not playing the Djinn. Seeing it 6 cards, find 1 Spell Stutter, I'm good. But I was thinking to myself that the fail case of me being able to bounce the Bramble means that they need land and, you know, a second shot. It's like, it's probably unlikely that they have all that, so. Disdainful Stroke, Spell Spears. Get it in there, the Spell Spears. Their sideboard plan is probably just like removal, maybe up the Beanstalk, maybe some uncounterable threat. I think Essence Scatter just doesn't have. I guess it has some targets. Yeah, down the line. Fading Hope is kind of medium, I guess. Okay, maybe it's just fine. Let's get some turn 1 fairy action. I'd be up for that. Okay, I'll take it. They have late unbinding. Maybe I didn't need to play. I mean, March. Yeah, March is always a protection spell for a Djinn, so, you know, never really bad. Considering taking the island because of the first. They have the Herd Migration. Yeah, I mean this is the nightmare match for my opponent, of course. The blue counterspell deck. Although Leyline Binding is a nice piece of interaction they have, that's for sure. So you again, you just want to play control essentially. I don't think I'm gonna discard a land. I'm very glad I took that island. Maybe Terror and March? Although Terror could be cheap. This is going to be the 4th spell. If I discard a March, a Djinn, then Terror only costs me 2 mana. It seems weird to discard a Djinn though. I don't know. Maybe Terror actually. But like if I play Terror here, it's just gonna get binded. I can't really counter back because Just gonna play it slow. Yeah, maybe the Terror is actually better. But because like this turn, I could deploy the Terror for 1 mana. They can Binding, I can counter, and then I still have Negate, or I can Swirling Mist. I could just draw 5. Probably will do that. I could play Djinn and let it be. Like if they have double Leyline, I don't want to Negate back. I can't March back. I think I just pass. And then next turn I deploy the Djinn. And then if they Leyline me, I'll probably just March. Oh. It's actually somewhat annoying. Cannot really let... I mean, I could negate it, I guess. But they just have to take the flow, right? Took the Negate. Do they have a counterspell? Is this what's going on here? Probably. No? You let me have the flow? Are you crazy? That seems wild. They're gonna Leyline Binding that, and I will probably... Then I have to first into another counterspell. Otherwise they can resolve. I could also play this and see what they do. If they have double Leyline, they can just kill both. Maybe I'm playing too passive. By not playing the Djinn here. No Leyline Binding. Okay, so Mana Leak is online, so they can't chance me. Maybe I'm just... Wow, another one. Guess I don't give them a choice, I'll just first in response. Okay, I found a Negate, so we good. It's kind of funny that these duresses almost get me here. I'm that low on counterspells in my deck. Okay, so now they can... I guess I'll just have to flow. It's safer than playing Djinn. Because now they can just play a land and my stutter doesn't do anything. Just not deploying Djinn until turn 8. Yeah, I should have kept one terror. That's a lesson for the future. Oh wow, I missed. Crazy. I missed. No Disdainful Stroke. I guess I have another Negate and 2 Disdainful Strokes. Welp. Here we go. Here we go. So if they hit the cemetery, I'm in trouble, huh? I can like, can I phase out the battle? No. Yeah, wow. I can't do shit. Yeah, okay. Wow, I can't believe I'm losing. Like, we haven't lost it, but again, I have to hope they don't hit. Crazy. His Spell Stutter is not the most effective counterspell, huh? There's the Bramble. They missed again. Oh man, lucky me. On a greater Tanuki. Oh shit. Another duress. Oh, this one I can counter theoretically. I think I'm okay with it though. Maybe you just need more hard counters, more strokes, more counters. I haven't seen a version with duress. It's reasonable, I guess. They took what? The march? Okay. Alright, I got Spell Stutter, I got Spell Pierce, I got Stroke. I should be okay, right? Leyline Binding. Well... The Stutter is good here, so I think I'm gonna... Like, the Stutter counters the Alara, because I have 2 fairies. Alright, they've had enough. Alrighty, play first. Sure, we have fairy turn 1. Nice. I made some slight changes. I added a Disdainful Stroke over the Spell Pierce in the sideboard, and I added a Negate in the main deck over one of those 4 Spell Stutters. Just for the matter of fact that, yeah, always like the Haughty Djinn with Go for the Throat happens a lot. Where you just sit on these Spell Stutters, Spell Pierces, and you can't do shit, so I wanted to change that. Okay, Mono Red is historically one of the tougher matchups, has received Lithomantic Barrage lately as well, which is insane against this deck. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how it will perform. This is certainly a challenge. Okay, I think I'll just bounce this Swift Spear, prevent some damage here. What am I looking for? Kind of looking for big creatures. The Djinn. I think I want to bottom that, even though, you know, technically islands are not bad in my hand. And pass. Yeah. Opponent having a pretty strong start with Kumano into double 1-drop. It's excellent. Let's see how the fairy is going to perform for us here. Are they going to lightning strike my face? Play with fire. Alright, resolves. Could March to gain some life here. March might be really important down the line, because with Flow, when you have so many cards, you can just March for 1, exile some cards from your hand, and be good. Could have also untapped the Fairy there. Well, I guess we're discarding these. Maybe to consider. Maybe this. To keep the flow. To reload. Maybe this is all a bit too slow. Terror would be nice. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Terror is kind of bad in post-board, right? Because it just cleanly gets wiped by the Lithomantic. But pre-board, that thing is a house. Like, you know, Nahiri's Warcrafting cost them 5 to kill it. I guess with Frenzy now, they have a good removal. Yeah, Frenzy too strong. Frenzy also makes the tempo deck here a little worse, huh? Blue deck. We'll see, we'll see. I can untap the Fairy and have an additional blocker there. The Ward is super annoying for them. Yep. Fairy is slow, of course, but I mean, when you play Fairy on turn 1, you enable blocking on turn 4. So yeah, opponent can't even attack. Awesome. We're stabilized. Going for a Wicked Roll token there. No treasure, no drawing cards. You're kind of happy with their hand. Not swinging with everybody. Okay, I have counter spells, so I'm not too worried. I'm just going to block the biggest creatures. I also have March. I mean, I'm sitting on everything. They have Monsters Rage, maybe? So they likely have 2 things here. I'm gonna let that happen and then see what they do with the Swifty. Nothing. So those would just trade. I would take 4, go to 7, and you would lose your Swift Spear. I go to 6, I guess. Those would trade. I go to 6. I guess I lose my flying blocker for the chick. So maybe I just march the etching. Eat this. Have a flying blocker for that. If I let this happen, I can just flow though. So might find a flying blocker. So I take 4, go to 7, take another one here, go to 6. I think it's fine going to 6, honestly. Like, they lost their Swift Spear. And their Kumano. I lost 1 guy. Chick post-combat. If I find 1 flyer, like a Djinn, preferably of course, then I'm good. Think I'll do this. Let's go. Wondering if I should attack here, actually. Yeah, I think I should, because due to the March, if I attack here, I just have lethal next turn. I can remove all blockers. If I don't attack, I don't have lethal. Oh. That's kinda good. But I'm worried about Lightning Strike, I guess, primarily. So I guess I can do it for 2. That way I shouldn't really be able to die at this point, right? I can play around another Frenzy by exiling the Fading Hope. And then I can do it for free, actually. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Did, and did. So now if they have Frenzy again, I could have countered. They didn't have Frenzy again, so no window for me to counter, and it's lethal! Alright, nice. So there you see March doing a lot of things after a flow, got us a lot of cards, we can use it to fog and protect and so on. So that's why I really want the third copy, but I just don't know how to make space. Okay, Loch-Whale comes in, Shredder comes in. Those definitely flow. I think it's just too slow. Fading Up's good, Spell Pierce, the counter spells are weird. Negate is probably a bit too clunky, but sometimes it can be important to protect. But then there's also the Fomantic Barrage where it cannot protect against. Here's another reason that makes March somewhat good. Yeah, then I could trim on like some cantrip effects to add more counter spells, but on the draw, I mean, like doing like minus a moment plus a scatter, something like that. I'm also not sure how good the Faerie here is, because I invest 1 mana. It's gonna be fine on turn 1, right? But then otherwise, like if I draw it later, it's gonna be quite bad, because as soon as it awakes, they can just kill it with the Lithomantic for 1 mana again. But I guess in the end, we're just overloading them on removal. We have Shredder, we have a lot of threats post board. So I think on the play, this matchup might not even be that bad. Especially if they don't start with anything on turn 1 and 2. That is somewhat okay with me. Although, probably just want to use my mana efficiently here. Okay, opponent just has a weak draw. I'm gonna wait with the Shredder, just gonna first. Okay. I mean, what did they keep? They probably should have mulliganed. I mean, they didn't have an early game play and didn't have free lands. Like, they're probably sitting on a bunch of Lithomantics, I would guess. Yeah, they're probably sitting on a bunch of those. Another Kumano. Maybe these two. Could have also discarded the Faerie. It's a bit slow. Consider might just be better. Okay, so I assume my creatures are gonna die, but that's okay. That's okay. I have bigger boys coming. Scoundrel action. Okay. I just don't want them to draw any cards. They probably would have gone for the loot there. I could have maybe just played a Loch-Whale as a 6-drop blocker. Okay, there's the first barrage. There's the second, as expected. They kept the hand with like double barrage and 2 lands, you know, and they were thinking, oh yeah, I have barrages, let's go, I'm playing against mono blue. But yeah, as it turns out, you kind of need aggression against mono blue, otherwise they just grind you to dust. At this point, I think I'll just play a whale because they use two of them, which is a 6/6 blocker. We can pack it up soon. Maybe I should have played the land, actually, because then if I draw another land, I can... Well, I mean, this is the toughest matchup, I would think. Maybe mono-white. Maybe mono-white is even more difficult. But seeing that we can win 2-0 against mono-red, that actually makes me think this deck is the real deal. Because all the mid-range piles, you can grind out with, like, Flow of Knowledge, and just cheap counterspells are good against them, and having always untapped mana, being efficient, and then just slamming Haughty Djinn, protecting it, killing in quick turns. I think the Esper Control matchup might be a little difficult though, because very experienced Esper Control players and like with good lists have 4 Shieldred's Edict, 3 Void Rend. They won't let you resolve Flow of Knowledge. And then Memory Deluge might drown you in card advantage, so that might be worrisome. But yeah, I think like you do have games against anybody who goes long, really. Like you have counterspells and you have Flow of Knowledge. You can turn it around the game quickly. So you are attacking at multiple angles, which is super nice about this deck too. Alright guys, that was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed playing with it. And I hope to see you next time. Take care.